Good. Maybe I move to my second topic today, is the managing your content on the bada server. So that I say, currently, the mobile application become very clearly trendy. So it's either like location-based application or social feature application. And then another trend is coming, is the content. People like content. If the local apps can deliver a lot of local contents, and people will downloading your apps. So how we can manage your content on bada platform? So I have the agenda today is three. First, I will give you a little bit background information. What's the bada server and how it works with the other third-party servers and content provider. And then we also have a remote content features, how you can manage your remote contents. And then I summarize what the first topic. So let's start from the background information. So again, I think it's simple to assume some user case like this lady, Jane. He, using the camera, he took some pictures, and he wants to upload pictures to the bada server. And then he can search some pictures from the server and download into her phone. And her friend Mike can also get the picture he uploaded to the server. So that's the user case you want to assume you want to implement in your application. So on the bada, we have, first, let me give you a little bit background information. What's the bada server? So you see this picture in the morning. So we have the device here. But on the server side, as I mentioned, we have about 130 APIs available to using this content service, location service, social service, and commerce service. So here I will focus on the content side. The content is a very general term, but on bada, they have some specific meanings. So first is the logic presentation of those media files like image, audio, and video. But on bada, content consists of this content type or attributes related with this content. We call it the metadata. And then we have the physical media file, which is the real content. So these two have to be combined together, then called the content in bada. So we will see later on how we can utilize this to utilize these two different types of information. So under the location, the local content, that means the content on your device, we have defined it 4 different types. So image content, audio content, video content, or some other types you can define by yourself. And then this is using the internal database on the bada device. And then storage under the media directory. That's all the local content on the device. So if you remove to the server side, then we have this remote content. So the remote content the user can define the content type from the bada developer side, and they can log in their user account and define the type. I will demonstrate to you later on. And then they can store the physical files into the workspace. So bada doesn't store your physical files. And the Amazon S3 workspace is actually storaging the physical content files. So that's the first sentence I mentioned here. The content on bada consists of 2 parts. First is content information, and then is the physical files. So here you can see bada server stores your content information, and then the Amazon S3 workspace stores the physical files. And there are some interconnection between these 2 servers. And that's how content management done in bada platform. And there are lot of features for the content. So first is the information you can find from the API reference document, like header files, what you need to use in the content API, and then libraries you need to compiling the code. And there are related namespaces for content, and you all can find it from the API reference document. And remember, content also requiring the system privilege, so you have to become Samsung partner first. But during the testing, you don't need. So when your application goes to commercialize, and you need to do it. So let's see how we can go to the content application step by step. So we have this user scenario. So Jane take a photo, upload to the server, and downloading, searching from a server, and her friend Mike sharing the photo. So the step for this kind of application is first, you have to sign in, use a Samsung account. Then you can upload the content, which is the physical content, to the bada server. And then you can create the remote content, which is creating the content information on bada. And then you can sharing the content and search the content and downloading the content. So that's the steps for the application we're going to explain in this presentation. Step one, so again, you see this familiar, very powerful and familiar application control called app control sign-in. That allows you to utilize the automatically generated UI to sign in the bada account. So I won't go too much detail again. And then once you sign in, then you can upload the image to the bada server. So how we can do that? Remember, first, you're transferring the physical content to the workspace. So that's the first, you get yourself a valid pointer of the content transfer class. And then you can use in the upload function to transfer in the physical files to Amazon S3 workspace. So you gave a source file path and destination file path. So example given here, source file because of always storage on the local like media directory, and then the remote side you can just pass in the string name and directory on the remote side. And then you can pass a parameter whether you want to replace the original one or not. And then you have the output parameter called URL. This is the unique resource identifier for the content on the server. And then you have the request ID. So this is a simple two calls to get your uploading of picture. And here's the example how this URL looks like. So first you have the remote, means indicate the contents is on a bada server. And then you have the application ID, indicate which content is being used by the application. And then you have the user ID, like who is using this content. And then you have the content file path itself. So once you upload and you transfer the physical files to the workspace, and then you want to confirm whether it's successfully uploaded. And then you can implement this listener class to these virtual functions to check the result, whether it's successfully uploaded or not. And then there are some other listener functions you can implement it. So we have this completed you can implement. And then you also have this progress. So on content transferring in progress. So this is good when you're transferring a larger file. You don't want to have an application hanging there without showing anything. So probably you want to display a progressing bar, how much stage or how much percentage of the file is being transferred. So this can be done by implement this virtual method. And then also you can cancel the updating. So once the physical content being uploaded to the workspace, and then you need to give some content name and also like categories by using the content, create the content method. So on this stage, so if you haven't finished this one, so the content is not created. So as I mentioned at the very beginning, there are two parts of information for the bada content. One is the physical file itself, another one is the content information. So now you need to create the content information. So you need to have this remote content info class and using the two-phase constructor get a pointer. And then you can use the set content name. This is one piece of information. And then you also can set the keywords for the content. And once you do the initializing jobs, you can just using this same class and create the content. Pass the information you initialized before and then request for creating the content on the server. So this is the two steps for you to creating the real content. And of course, you can check the result by implementing this own content created, whether it's successfully created or not. This class, this virtual method implemented by you will do the job for you. And other type of callback functions can have this created and received or updated. So this is different status or different process. You can check the result from the server.